My name is Homer, and I'm known for being one of the greatest ancient Greek epic poets. I love this and often include it in my rhymes. You may ask, what's a myth?
A myth is a story created by a group of people over time. Myths explain things a group of people did not understand, like thunder. I am Sophocles, a famous Greek poet. I wanted to say a few words about the Greek gods and goddesses, the characters in these myths. The Greek gods did not always exist. They too were created. At one time, Titans came into existence, and in fact, the Greek gods are the grandchildren of the universe through the Titans. I know, confusing, huh? So, the Greek gods have immortals, the weakest immortals have often with supernatural powers. Even so, this does not free them from envy, greed, and dishonesty. Sometimes the human hero can be more noble than God.
The gods must be praised. The story of Cupid and Psyche. In this myth, a beautiful young woman named Psyche is tangled up in a web of intrigue created by a jealous goddess, Aphrodite, and her son Cupid. Before the story ends, Cupid's famous arrows will come into play along with some nice hands, lean sheep with golden wool, and a box of pieces of pink Pandora.
Welcome to Mount Olympus. My name is Zeus, and I'm going to be your host today. As top god here, I can assure you that we gods are very, very powerful. But we've also had our own share of quirks. Some of us have been known to be silly, angry, or even downright jealous of you humans.
Not me. No human can ever be as beautiful and popular as I am, and if they tried, they'd be in big trouble.
See what I mean? Now today, I want to tell you the story of a young woman named Psyche, who had the sad luck to be born more beautiful.
What?
Sorry, almost as beautiful as Aphrodite here. It's a story with lots of twists and turns, so stay close with me. Part 1, Sisterly Love. When Psyche was born, her parents couldn't believe what a cute baby she was. Later on, as she grew up, everyone admired Psyche's amazing beauty. Everyone, that is, except her sisters.
What she got that I haven't got? Why should so many men have crushes on her when I'm clearly more sophisticated and elegant? And what about me? I don't have to fall in the steps of our little sister. What makes her think she's so great?
But Psyche didn't get a swallowed head from all the attention. When suitors came from all over Greece to ask her to marry them, she could hardly be bothered.
Do these guys always have to follow me wherever I go? I can't even go to the well without being followed by at least 10 of them. I wish they'd go away.
Aphrodite couldn't agree more to Psyche's wish. She knew the men following Psyche around had forgotten all about her and her need for worship.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's a human competing with the gods. Where's that son of mine?
Right here, Mom. May I say what was coming today?
Don't try to butter me up. I've got a job for you. Shoot one of your little magic arrows into Psyche and make her fall in love with a tree or a rock or a stump. That'll teach her a lesson.
Anything you say, Mom. I'll be back in 2 shakes of Pysche's tail.
But when the winged archer flew to Psyche's home and got a better look at her, he had a change of heart.
Wow, she's even prettier than... No, I better not say it. I can't make her fall in love with a skunk. I'll just put this arrow away and go home.
As Cupid went to put the arrow away, though, he accidentally jabbed his finger with the arrow's tip. According to the magic arrow rules, he was now sure to fall in love with the first person he saw. That person was a beautiful human Psyche. It was his mother's worst nightmare, but he was never going to let her know. Instead, he set out to get help from his friend Apollo, the god of the sun and fortune.
Part 2, Cupid's scheme.
It wasn't long before Psyche's big stream of marriage proposals dried up. Almost like magic, you might say.
Well, I guess there is some justice in the world.
We both married princes, and our little sister hasn't landed anyone yet. Too bad, I'm all broken up about it. Psyche's spirits feared that the gods now hated their youngest daughter for some reason, so they too went to the god Apollo for help.
Your daughter's fate isn't a happy one. She's destined to be the bride of, well, a monster with wings who lives on the top of a mountain. If you want the gods to be happy, you must leave her by the side of that mountain.
It wasn't true. Cupid had told Apollo to say those things. But Psyche's parents didn't know that. With broken hearts, they took her to the mountainside. As night fell, Psyche fought hard to keep up her guard. But the dark and the cold were more than she could stand. A deep sleep fell over her. As she slept, a gentle wind magically picked her up and carried her to a hidden valley. When she woke up, she found herself at the steps of a huge golden mansion.
Hello? Anyone home? Can somebody tell me whose house this is?
This is your house, Psyche, and I am the husband that God has chosen for you. I love you, Psyche.
You're the monster.
Actually pretty okay looking, and I'm not a monster.
Then come out and let me see you.
No, I want you to love me for who I am, not for what I look like or for who my family is. I will come visit you at night when the house is dark, and if you try to see me, all this will be ruined and we'll both have to go our separate ways.
We gods can be a little shy around humans. We prefer to be known from afar, which can't be a problem if you happen to be married to a human.
All right, husband. I guess I have to trust what you said.
Part 3, the light of the lamp.
So the two lived quite happily in their new house. They talked all day, but Cupid would not stop, hiding himself from Psyche until night had darkened the house. Everything was going along amazingly well until Psyche began to miss her family.
Are you happy, sweet Psyche?
Yes, everything was quite lovely, but
But what? Tell me what's wrong. Let me know what's wrong and I promise I'll fix it.
I want to see my sisters again. Could they visit me here?
No, they'll ask too many questions.
But you've already promised. Is your word meaningless?
Alright, they can come, but don't tell them anything about me.
So it was arranged. Before long, the sisters were reunited.
Psyche, we thought you might be dead, but look at you living in this house. That husband of yours must be one rich monster. Tell all, Psyche. By the way, where's your husband? Does that monster mistreat you?
He's not a monster. He's a young prince. He's off visiting his father, the king, on important business right now.
Look at these jewels you have. What a collection. I thought
He's been collecting jewels for years now. He's on an expedition to buy even more now.
I thought you said he was a young prince visiting his dad.
Well, he is sort of. He collects jewels when he's not busy being a prince.
Her sisters could tell that she was making up stories. They insisted on the truth.
Well, I don't know the truth exactly. I know my husband is generous and kind, but I've never seen him before.
You've never seen him? I wish I could say that about my husband. Listen, sister, who's to say you're not married to a bloodthirsty monster? He could eat you alive at any moment. You've got to find out who he is. Tonight, when he's asleep, turn on the lamp and get a good look. But make sure you have a dagger in your hand. That way you can protect yourself as he tries to attach you.
That night, Psyche did as her sisters suggested. She tiptoed over to her husband, got her dagger ready, and raised the lighted lamp over him.
It's Cupid! I'm married to the god of love!
Psyche's hands began to shake. The dagger fell out of her trembling fingers, and a drop of hot lamp oil splashed onto Cupid's arm.
So you didn't listen to me. Well, now that teaching me, goodbye.
Wait, no, please!
In a flash, Cupid and the house were gone. Psyche found herself sitting in an empty field, all alone. Realizing what she had lost, she began to cry.
Scene 4, Proving her love.
Psyche wasn't the sort of person to sit around and feel sorry for herself. She searched high and low for Cupid, and finally learned that he had gone to live in his mother's house.
Well, look who it is. Don't you think you've caused enough trouble already?
Oh, Goddess, please tell me where my husband Cupid is.
I've got him locked up safe and sound to recover from the nasty burn you gave him. You're not good enough to be my son's bride anyways.
Please don't talk to me like that.
Are you willing to take a few tests to see if you deserve him?
Yes, yes.
Fine. Here's the first test.
Aphrodite picked up 3 huge bags, each filled with a different type of grain, and dumped them all out onto the ground.
Now pick up every piece of grain and put it back in the bags it came from, and have all the grains picked up by sundown. Got it?
I'll never be able to do that. I'll never get Cupid back. Just then, a little ant heard Psyche's cry.
Come on, little ants. Let's pitch in and help this poor creature.
The ants swarmed over the pile, little by little, grain by grain. They filled up the sacks. By sundown, the job was finished, much to Psyche's joy and Aphrodite's disgust.
So you did okay on the easy test.
There's more?
Of course. See way over there those lovely gold-colored sheep? Bring back some of your pure gold wool and try not to get too badly gored by their wicked horns.
Psyche set out at once towards the sheep's meadow. Scissors in hand, she was about to chase after a little lamb to give it a haircut when she heard a voice.
Don't try it, kid.
Who said that?
Me, I'm here, sticking out of the water, right by your left foot.
A reed?
You know, tall grass, low, shallow water. That's me.
Now a piece of grass is telling me where I'm supposed to go.
Those golden cheese are tearing apart the shies and earphones.
And how am I supposed to get through this golden wool?
It's right through the rail. When they're sleeping, run over to the thorn bushes and collect the bits of gold they left hanging there. You'll get your way without getting stuck.
Thanks for the tip. I'll walk where I'm walking from now on. Aphrodite was furious when Psyche returned with the golden wool. She gave the young beauty more horrible tasks, but each time some plant or animal took pity on Psyche and lent her a hand. Finally, Aphrodite handed her an empty box.
Take this box to the queen of the underworld and bring back some of her beauty.
Persephone, as you may know, is the queen of the underworld, the place where all the dead go. It is not a place for live humans, that's for sure. Psyche managed to get by all the fierce and terrible guards down there, and into the court of the queen. She even convinced the queen to give up some of her beauty. That's when the trouble started. I wonder what Persephone's beauty secret is. After all these horrible tasks that Aphrodite has been giving me, it's been really hard on my skin. She opened the box just a peep, and a powerful wind rushed out into her face. Help, help, I can't breathe! Psyche fell to the ground, overpowered by the fumes that began forcing her back toward the underworld for good. Luckily, Cupid appeared just at that moment.
My mother knows how to lock the door, but she always forgets to lock the window. Psyche, I'm coming.
Cupid raced over to his bride, closed the dangerous box, and revived her with his special godly powers.
My mother been making me do.
It's a long story. When Cupid had heard how Psyche had worked to win him back, his love for her grew deeper than ever. As soon as he could, he brought her up to meet Zeus and asked a special favor.
O King of the gods, please make my bride a god like the rest of us, so she can not only be my bride, but also my partner to help me with all the young lovers out there in the world.
So I said, so be it, and handed her a golden cup full of nectar, our special drink here on Mount Olympus. As soon as she took a sip, she became a goddess. That night, Olympus thundered and shook as